No comment. No comment. No comment. No comment.
Welcome to Better Equipped. I'm Cody Balch, and I am down here at the Ohio State University because I was down here today for a For Columbus Leaders Summit at the Ohio Union. And while I'm down here, I don't want to just talk only with Christians about what we think the unbelieving world needs, but I'm going to talk hopefully with some unbelievers today, maybe a few believers, and find out what they feel like they wish Christians either knew or understood better. And so I hope that you'll lean in and listen, stay tuned, because sometimes there's some conversations that happen after the video conversation. So the screen may pause, the conversation may continue because the microphone picked it up, and I want you to listen in and hear what people really have to say. I am here with
Colin Spangler.
Sweet. Hey, Colin, thanks for doing this, man. So today's question, I'll get to in a second. What's your favorite collegiate football team first?
Ohio State, of course.
That's right. Go Bucks. All right. So second question, the more important one is, what do you wish Christians knew or understood better from your perspective?
I would say that not everyone needs to be looked down upon if they think differently than them. All
right. Interesting. So why do you think Christians are giving off that vibe?
I feel like they judge a lot of people that think differently than them. So.
Gotcha. So you don't identify as Christian?
I do.
Yeah. You do? Okay. I do too. And what do you think would help that? I don't know if that's probably a difficult question. What do you think would help that get better?
I don't know. I think it would be like a shared agreement with everyone, just between Christians, but
yeah.
Yeah.
So kind of more willingness to, like agree to disagree and peace, maybe listen to one another better, try to understand, be more peaceable, do you feel like? Or is that not what you mean?
Yeah, like not as closed-minded.
I am here with
Tyler.
All right, Tyler, thanks for doing this, man. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
All right, today's question is, what do you wish Christians knew or understood better from your perspective?
One thing I wish Christians understood better is LGBT rights. Like in the Bible, some people like misunderstand like words about being gay. I wish they understood like being gay is not actually a sin. It was originally like man should not be in bed with boy, meaning like pedophilia, not like homosexual rights.
So you wish most Christians interpreted that differently?
Yes.
Interesting. And do you feel like is it mistreatment? Is it just a different viewpoint? Meaning, is it just a disagreement, or do you feel like that's something that's actually creating like, some sort of like, not being treated well?
I think it's just more like disagreement, and most people like interpret it wrong.
Do you feel like it's okay for people to disagree on that topic? Kind of like a lot of people agree to disagree. If they still love, show kindness to people. Do you feel like, that's understandable?
Yes, I do feel like that is understandable because everyone does have the right to their own opinion.
Very cool. So this is for a YouTube channel. I did a video on this topic, a few weeks ago. Nice. So I hope you listen to it, and yes. I'd be happy to get you contact me and let me know. I'd love to dialogue it with you if you're ever interested, man.
Yes, thank you.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Thanks for doing this.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. I'll give you my card, man.
Okay.
Let me stop the recording here. Thanks for doing this, man.
Thank you.
That's really kind of you. Well, I love you, and God loves you, and yeah, I'm one of those that I believe that I would be of the mindset of the Bible, interpreting it as sin. But I think where a lot of people go wrong is mistreating, or talking harshly or poorly or devaluing. I think that's not okay. So but I think there should be deep love and compassion. Yeah. So thanks for talking with me, man.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Yeah. Check it out. Yeah. And thanks for your willingness to chat.
Yes.
Appreciate it. Have a great day.
You too.
Thanks. All right. I am here with
Sarah.
Hi, Sarah. Very nice to meet you. And it's really cool of you to be able to talk with me. What do you wish Christians knew or understood better from your perspective?
I would probably say just like, I feel like maybe just like having more of an open mind and like getting knowledge about like other people's religions, and like I don't like expect them to like know every single like detail about it, but like maybe like how different religions have different accommodations, and like just to be mindful of that.
Yeah, do you feel like Christians aren't listening to that or curious about that or doing research on that? Like, what do you feel like is at the heart of, why do you think that they're not doing maybe as good a job as you hope they would with that?
I think a lot of them are. It's just that, like in America, like the majority of like people are Christian around like me. So I just feel like they're kind of in like their own bubble, and they think that everyone else around them is also Christian, or that they just kind of just like assume like these are like this is what I do, so everyone else is probably
Right.
like.
Okay. You said you don't identify as a Christian, right?
No, I don't.
Yeah. And I do, but that's part of why I'm doing this, is just to like get other people's perceptions. Yeah. Like for me, I think as a Christian, it's like, I think it's really important to listen, to get to know people, to understand their points of view, not just their background. Sometimes that plays into it, but even like different people have different sets of questions, curiosities themselves. And I think dialogue a lot of times is just killed when we don't listen to one another, and if there's a difference, then we just shut down. So thanks for your willingness to talk with me, and if you ever have any interest in learning, thank you for your open mind and talking with me. So if you ever have any interest in talking more and asking questions, me listening, I'd be happy to do that for you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
I am here with
Rhea.
Nice to meet you, and today's question is, what do you wish Christians knew or understood better? Is there anything you can think of?
So I am actually really good friends with a lot of Christians from all different backgrounds in that religion. And I do have to say we all have a really good respect and mutual understanding of each other. Even though our religions may differ, we're still able to have conversations about just God in general and our values. So I wouldn't have anything to improve. It's very wholesome discussions all the time, so I'm very grateful.
So you've had a great experience overall. Like that's been good. Do you think that's the norm? Do you think that's what most people experience? Because that's awesome. I hope that's the norm.
I've never had friends who've had an issue with it, so yeah, I would hope so.
Well, that's awesome. Well, thanks for your input. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah, hi everyone, I'm Abi.
Oh, nice to meet you. And today's question is, what do you wish Christians knew or understood better?
Yeah, so I think this question, sometimes I tend to avoid such questions just because it kind of goes into stereotyping a bit. And I think Christianity, just like with any other religion, has such a broad spectrum of beliefs and ideals. But I think through my experiences with Christians and any religion in particular, I think it's just keeping an open mind and understanding that there are beliefs outside of religion itself. And, we live and we coexist. Ideas coexist in our society beyond the realm of religion. And I think seeking to understand those ideas beyond just from a religious sphere is really important.
I am here with
Kaylee.
Hi, Kaylee. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
What do you wish Christians knew or understood better, or maybe could do a better job at?
I think that Christians need to understand that you don't always have to understand everything the Bible says, because it is a lot and it is hard to take in. And I'm a person that, it gets busy when you're in college, and you don't have to go to church every Sunday. It's about believing and trying your best, and God will work with you. College
is one of those times where a lot of people, maybe they grew up, in a Christian family or something, and statistically a ton lose their faith. What do you attribute that to? What do you think is the main lead measure there?
So I know for me, mine actually got stronger going in first year. My roommate was Jewish last year, and she was very strong about her faith, and then it made me realize maybe I should get more into it. So weird that my Jewish roommate got me closer to God, but then I had friends kind of pulling me into their churches, and that's kind of where it went from there. But I see how people kind of lose sight of that when it gets really busy.
Yeah, and that's really cool. I think it can be, this time of life for you guys can be a huge growth time, not just educationally,
change,
but you decide who you are, who you want to be. So I'm really proud of you, Kaylee, for choosing to continue to dive into your faith. And I'm praying that you'll continue to do that. Keep shining the light.
Thank you.
I am here with
Adriana.
Hi, Adriana. Nice to meet you, and thanks for talking with me. All right, today's question is, what do you wish Christians knew or understood better?
That not everybody has to think the same way as you. We all grew up different. Some of us grew up like you and just decided it wasn't for us. So you don't have to judge everybody for that, you know?
Do you think that's something their expectation is that everybody should or will think just like them?
I have met a lot that are like that, yes. And I feel like any of the horror stories that I've heard about it, and what sticks out most to me is that negative side of Christianity.
Have you ever had a good example of somebody who's kind of been a good representation of what you would hope to see more Christians be like?
Yeah, of course. I have a lot of members in my family are still Christians, and I love them. They don't judge me for who I am or who all the other people that I love are. I understand that, and I don't even think necessarily like trying to teach people how to listen, but just teaching them to not judge.
Right.
You know, you don't have to choose, like, if you are going to be so bothered by the fact that somebody else doesn't think the same way that you do, even if it's not a religion, even if it's just about, you know, is pizza good? You don't have to argue with them about that. You can just be like, okay, I don't want to argue with that. Like, just don't talk to me. That's all. You can take either route, you know?
You feel like there's a lot of people just would rather argue about it than just agree to disagree?
Yeah, that's kind of the way
I
the world
agree
is
with
today.
you on that. I'm a Christian, but I totally agree with you on that. And that's part of what I'm trying to do is like, and I don't know, it's a surprise to me what people say. I mean, I don't know what people are about to say. But I think the point is like, no matter what people say, I'm still not going to argue with somebody about it. You know what I
That's
mean?
fair. No,
Like
that's
for
fair.
me as a Christian, it's like, that still doesn't warrant me arguing with them.
Yeah, as long as you're not, I don't care what you say to me, but as long as you're not like actually trying to shove it down my throat.
Right.
That's
right.
fine. Like
Yeah.
you can talk about God in front of me. Like if you want to have a prayer before dinner, I'm okay with that. Just don't try to tell me that I shouldn't be who I am because it goes against religion. I think is the main thing.
Right, and I think like, is it even like in actuality, is it even possible to actually shove that down someone's throat? Like, does that actually change anybody's heart to like, yeah, okay, fine, I believe, and then like that's not genuine. So you know what I mean? It seems kind of futile to like try to shove that on someone.
Yeah.
When it's like that's not gonna change
like
their
if
heart
they're
anyway.
agreeing, they might just be doing it so you shut up.
Right. It's different if like
Like-
somebody has a question or they're open to like learning more. Then you don't feel like you need to shove it down anyway. But it's like it's not productive to shove it down someone's throat anyways, is what I think.
Having a genuine discussion rather
Yeah.
than just
This
saying,
is a genuine
it should be
discussion.
this. Like you got to use the I feel statements where I think, not that like you have to, you should. Yeah.
I appreciate your willingness to have a genuine discussion. And I imagine that we disagree on different viewpoints,
Oh sure.
but
Nobody
we
agrees
can
on everything.
Right, but we can still have a civil dialogue and mutual respect for one another. And that's a huge part of what I'm trying to teach people and teach Christians is there's a way to have dialogue. You know, I talk with some people who are very open to like, they want to learn more and they're very curious and they ask questions and like I don't even know, like if honest question, like could you define what the gospel is? Like a lot of people will be like, I've never even like had someone actually like genuinely share the gospel with me. And it's, you know, it's like one of those things where they're more doing litmus tests of what people believe or don't believe instead of just like listening and having honest conversations. So
Because I grew up in a really white, like pretty religious town.
Yeah.
And then coming here, I was like, this is kind of a culture shock. Like in all honesty, I had a couple black families that went to my school, maybe an Indian family.
Right.
And then coming here, I was like, there's so many people from
feels
places
global
that
here.
I haven't met. Yeah, and like even just walking across campus, you can hear multiple like people having conversations in different languages. I'm like, that is so amazing to me because I've never had that.
yeah,
And it's like, you know, you
Isn't
get
that cool?
It is.
it is
love
super
I
cool.
love it.
Again, you know where to find me. If you ever have any questions, again, I will never be pushy with you. So I appreciate your willingness to chat. But if you ever do have any genuine questions, interests, I'm not going to make you do anything. So if you ever just have a question like, what do you think about this? Or like, all right, what do Christians believe about this? Or why do you know, like, if you ever anything, I'm never offended by any questions. That's what I love. So you can always reach out. Yeah.
I wish you luck with the rest of your
Thank
day.
you very much. I appreciate it. You have a great day. All right, I am here with
Zach Balch.
Zach. Nice to meet you, man. And today's question, thanks for taking the time to chat with me. Today's question is, what do you wish Christians knew or understood better from your perspective?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that I wish that Christians would understand people skills a little bit better. I think there's really wrong ways to tell the truth, and there's ways that if we're going to be fishers of men, that takes a lot of tact and a lot of skill, and it's not just about shoving the truth down people's throats. It's about getting them to be attracted towards you and tell them the truth in love, especially people who don't believe in Jesus. So
Yeah. Do you identify as a Christian?
absolutely.
Me too, dude. We're like brothers.
What's your name?
I'm Cody.
How's that?
Nice to meet you, man. I'll give you my card in a second.
Yeah.
Keep trying to do that for people, man. Be one of those people. And that's what I'm trying to help do too, because I completely agree with you. And my older brother's name is Zach.
Heck yeah,
So
spell it.
Z-A-C-H.
I'm a ZAC guy.
You're
Yeah,
a
it's just
Z-A-C.
Just ZAC,
I don't know
yeah.
too many of those.
Yeah, just straight ZAC.
You're like a unicorn, one
I
of those
know,
Zach
man.
unicorns.
I know.
Well, thanks for taking time
Yeah,
to chat, man.
Good to meet you, bro.
Nice to meet
Yeah,
you.
thank
Keep shining your light, man.
All right, man.
Here's my card.
Yeah, absolutely. That's good stuff. This is good, dude. So
Yeah.
Do you do a podcast or just videos?
Both. I do YouTube and podcasts.
Heck yeah, man.
Part of what I'm doing is with this kind of stuff, and this is actually only my second time doing this type of thing. I plan on doing a lot more, but it's exactly what you said.
Yeah.
I'm trying to actually like teach people, and most people won't do it this way. I don't expect people to do it this way with like a camera, and that's new to me too. I'm used to talking with people, not a camera in their face. I'm trying to teach people exactly what you said about like just stop being so stinking weird.
Yeah.
And shoving it down people's throats, and share the truth in love, and listen. And if people disagree, that's okay.
Yeah.
And you don't have to be so worried about that. I feel like you gotta clam up, or it's cool. So part of it is just like showing them, teaching them how to do that in healthier ways and with many different opposing views.
Yeah.
Because it's a lost art. I don't know if that's always been that way, but it's becoming. It's not getting better.
Well, I think what happened was it went very legalistic, and then we learned about grace and love, and then it went completely the other direction, and it's not either of those two. It's right in the middle.
Yeah.
But right in the middle takes the ability to influence people, and you don't influence people by talking down to them or just spitting at them. You influence people by listening and asking questions.
Yeah, I agree. And you know, John chapter 1 says that Jesus came full of grace and truth.
Yeah.
And that's what Better Equipped is helping equip people with the grace and truth of Jesus. And yeah, I feel like there's either the legalists that just beat people with the truth, or it's all grace and no truth.
Yeah.
It's like there's a place where you can still hold your convictions without losing grace and kindness and love. And I was talking to a guy earlier who he himself identified, love is love. But we had a fantastic conversation.
Yeah.
No animosity, but we disagree. We would disagree at the end of the day on certain personal viewpoints, but I get to still treat him with grace and kindness.
Yeah.
And he felt that way towards me. And so I'm trying to help model that.
Well, yeah, just lead by example. And
Exactly.
I think most, if we really understand as Christians that God's written on our heart,
Yeah.
then it's not about whether people know Jesus or not.
Right.
It's really about who hurt them, or why are they actively rebelling against God.
Right.
And usually it's either a family member, someone close to them who is a Christian, or someone who came off as a Christian and really hurt them. And most of the time that's why it's so outwardly against God.
Right.
Because if you truly didn't believe in him, why is it more of a rebellion than it is an act of ignorance?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I think that's something that's just not talked about a ton either. But yeah. It's most time they're hurt.
Yeah. And that is a huge piece of just part of this ministry is just helping people think that way. Sounds like you've got a good head on your shoulders, man.
Thanks, bro. I appreciate it. Just years of talking to people, man. You learn a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So I just had an incredible time interacting with people and having all kinds of conversations. Met some Christians and met some people who are not. And all of the conversations were very, very peaceable, very interesting. There was a lot of really great follow-up conversations that happened after I turned the camera off. And that's okay. You aren't gonna do this on camera with a bunch of people. So I'm trying to help show this, model this different way of just being kind to people, asking, listening, getting to share. Again, I got to share a lot of stuff after the camera turned off. They just seemed to open up even more. And so all in all, I think that the consensus was basically exactly what this video is trying to accomplish, which is I wish there were more Christians who were less judgmental, would be more open-minded and listen, and stop being, shoving it down people's throats and stuff. And I don't think that's what everybody's doing. And some people, I think, the pendulum swung to where like I asked one girl, have you ever had anybody share the gospel with you? And she's like, no. So some of this isn't like being shoved down people's throats. I think there's just a perception of, in our culture, that disagreement is judgmentalism. And I think the way we can combat that is to have actual conversations with actual humans in loving and kind ways. And then people will start to see like, no, they listen. Wonder what they think on that. Wonder what their viewpoint is. And I think that'll help combat a lot of the judgmentalism when they realize they had an honest conversation with likely some disagreement belief-wise, but didn't feel judged in some bad way. Maybe just a disagreement, agree to disagree, or sharing different viewpoints. But I hope this better equips you. I hope it encourages you to not be afraid to have the conversations, not be afraid to broach the topic, not be afraid to share your faith, to share the love of Jesus, especially, but even with people who disagree with you on many, many topics. So I hope that this blesses you, and we'll see you on the next side.